All right, you've done it. You bought the house, keys in hand, you celebrated, and then, well, then you sit down with that home inspection report.
Oh, yeah.
Got all these diagrams, arrows pointing places in terms like HVAC, GFCI, some basin. And if you're like most of us, especially maybe here in Sioux Falls, you probably nodded, smiled,
Smile politely, yeah.
and then went home thinking, what was that? I know I sure did the first time.
It's such a classic moment, isn't it? That mix of pure excitement and maybe just a little bit of panic.
Right. Creeping panic is a good word.
When you realize, oh, this dream home is also this, like, complex machine, and you're wondering, what was that thing in the basement again? And why do I feel so kind of overwhelmed?
Exactly. And that feeling, that overwhelm, that's really why we're doing this today.
Yeah.
Over the years, just from owning homes ourselves and helping tons of folks right here in Sioux Falls figure things out, well, we've picked up a lot.
Learned a thing or two the hard way sometimes.
Definitely. So this deep dive, it's all about kind of pulling back the curtain on those essential systems, the stuff that keeps your home warm, dry, lit up, and safe.
Our mission really is just to give you those key insights so you feel confident, proactive about your home, not intimidated by it.
Yeah, we want to help you understand the why behind it all.
Exactly. You don't need to become a master plumber overnight or anything. That's what pros are for.
Right.
The goal is just knowing what's important, maybe spotting trouble before it gets huge.
Before it gets expensive.
Oh, yeah. And knowing when it's definitely time to, pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
It's about dodging those big, costly surprises. Nobody likes those.
Okay, let's jump in then. Let's unpack maybe one of the biggest systems, especially for us here in the Midwest, where, man, we get all the seasons, sometimes in 1 week.
You betcha.
HVAC. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. What's this thing actually doing for us?
Well, simply put, it's making your home livable, comfortable, all year round. Keeps you warm when it's freezing, cool when it's humid and sticky. And this is important too. It keeps the air moving, so it doesn't feel all stale and stuffy inside.
Gotcha. So what are the main parts of this system? I know the furnace that's usually down in the basement or maybe a utility room.
That's usually right. The furnace could be gas, could be electric. That's what actually heats the air. Then you've got your AC unit, maybe central air, maybe a window unit. The main part, the compressor, that's usually sitting outside.
Right, that big box.
Yep. And all that warm or cool air gets around through your ductwork, big network of metal pipes usually, and the brain of the whole operation. That's your thermostat on the wall.
Okay. So as a homeowner, what are the absolute must-dos? The things we have to know to keep this beast happy and running well? I hear about filters all the time. Does changing them really matter that much?
Oh, it matters so much. Huge difference. You got to change that filter every, say, 1 to 3 months. Even more often if you've got pets shitting everywhere. A clogged filter makes the whole system work way harder. It can even bump up your energy use by like 5 to 15%.
Wow.
Yeah. And besides filters, getting the seasonal tune-up, smart move before you fire up the heat for the first time in fall or the AC in spring, like a checkup for your car,
Makes sense.
And seems obvious, but I see it all the time. Keep your vents clear. Don't put rugs over them. Don't shove furniture right up against them. It blocks the airflow, makes the system struggle.
Good tip. Easy one to fix. What about how old the system is? Is that a big deal?
Oh, definitely. If your HVAC system is, say, 15 years old, maybe even older, it's time to start putting some money aside. Budgeting for a replacement.
Okay.
Look, keeping it maintained. It lowers your bills, yeah, but it also prevents those awful breakdowns, usually on the hottest day of summer, right?
Always.
And if you let it go, neglect it, you could be staring down a $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $12,000 replacement cost, plus emergency call fees.
Oof. Yeah, that puts it in perspective.
A little proactive care really does pay for itself. Saves you money and headaches.
Okay, so that keeps us warm and cool. Let's switch gears and shed some light on what keeps everything powered up. The electrical panel. The breaker box. What's its main job?
Think of it like the command center for all the electricity in your house.
Okay.
It takes the main power coming in and splits it up, sends it safely out to your lights, your outlets, your appliances. And crucially, if something goes wrong, like a circuit gets overloaded, it shuts the power off automatically, prevents fires, prevents damage.
And you usually find these where basement, garage, maybe a closet.
That's right. Usually tucked away somewhere. And for folks who might feel a little, nervous looking at it, it's actually pretty straightforward.
How does it work when a breaker Trips.
So each of those little switches, those breakers, they should
Oh,
be labeled. This one's for the kitchen outlets, this one's for the bathroom lights, maybe one for the AC. If you plug in too many things on one circuit or if there's a short somewhere, that specific breaker senses too much electricity flowing, so it trips, it flicks off. It's basically saying, whoa, hold on, too much juice.
okay.
To get the power back on, you just flip that switch all the way off, then firmly back on again.
Gotcha. So what are the key things for homeowners to know about their panel? You mentioned labels.
Labels are huge EE. If they're not labeled, take the time to figure it out and label them. Or just double check the ones that are there in an emergency, or even just when like an outlet stops working. Knowing which breaker controls what saves so much time and frustration.
Right.
Also, try not to overload circuits. Plugging in the toaster, the microwave, the coffee maker all into one kitchen circuit, that might be too much. Spread things out.
Good advice.
And absolutely know where the main shutoff is. It's usually the biggest breaker, often at the very top or bottom. That cuts all the power to the whole house. Vital in an emergency.
Okay. And what about those special outlets, GFCIs and AFCIs? What's their deal?
Yeah, super important safety features. GFCIs, ground fault circuit interrupters. You see them in kitchens, bathrooms, garages, outdoors, anywhere near water, basically.
Right.
They protect you from getting shocked. They sense even a tiny leak of electricity, like if a hairdryer fell in the sink and they shut off the power instantly, super fast.
No, okay.
Then you have AFCI's arc fault circuit interrupters. These are more for preventing fires, usually required in bedrooms, living rooms now. They detect dangerous electrical arcs, tiny sparks that can happen in damaged wiring inside your walls.
Mini lightning bolts, you said.
Exactly. Like mini lightning bolts that can start a fire in your insulation or wood framing. AFCI sniff those out and cut the power.
Okay, that's good to know. So what are some, warning signs, red flags that maybe something's up with the electrical system?
Definitely things like flickering lights that aren't just a loose bulb,
Okay.
outlets that buzz or crackle when you plug something in,
Mm?
or cover plates on outlets or switches that feel warm.
Warm is bad.
Warm is definitely bad. And for folks in older homes, say built in the 70s, aluminum wiring was sometimes used. It can be a fire risk because it expands and contracts more than copper, loosening connections over time.
Mm.
And another big one an electrician might spot is double-tapped breakers. That's when two wires are jammed into the slot on a breaker meant for only one.
Well, that sounds bad.
It is bad. It's a serious fire hazard because it overloads the breaker connection. If you see that or suspect any of these issues, don't mess around. Call a qualified electrician. Seriously.
Yeah, some things are definitely not DIY. Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, knowing those red flags is key. Let's shift from potential fire to potential flood. The sump pump. Most of us in Sioux Falls have heard of these or have one. What's it actually doing down there?
It is your basement's best defense against water, especially with our heavy rains and, the spring snowmelt we get.
Right.
Its whole job is to stop your basement from flooding. It pumps out water that collects in a pit around your foundation, getting it away from the house.
And it sits in that pit, the sump basin, usually in the basement floor or maybe a crawl space. How does it know when to turn on? Does it have a little brain?
Huh. Kinda. So, yeah, it sits in that basin. As water collects in the pit, it lifts up a float switch, like the float in your toilet tank, sort of.
Okay.
When the water gets high enough to lift that float to a certain point, boom, it turns the pump on. The pump kicks in, sucks the water out, and pushes it through a discharge pipe, usually leading outside.
And there's something to stop it coming back in.
Yes, super important. There's a check valve on that discharge pipe. It's a one-way door. Water goes out. But when the pump stops, the valve slams shut, so the water in the pipe doesn't just flow right back down into your pit.
Makes sense. So how often should we be, checking on this thing, making sure it's ready to go?
You really should test it every few months, and definitely before a big storm is forecast.
How do you test it?
Easy. Just pour a bucket or two of water right into the pit.
Huh.
Enough to raise the float and make sure the pump actually turns on, pumps the water out, shuts off correctly. Also, make sure it's plugged into a GFCI outlet, that safety outlet we talked about.
Right. Water and electricity.
Exactly. And if you live somewhere prone to flooding or just lose power often, seriously, think about getting a battery backup system for it. Power outages often happen during the worst storms, right when you need the pump most.
Good point.
Oh, and one more thing. Check where that discharge pipe ends outside. Make sure it's actually carrying the water away from your foundation, not just dumping it right next to the house where it can seep back down. It needs to slip away.
Why is this sump pump business so critical? besides, the obvious mess of a flooded basement?
Because sump pump failure during heavy rain, that can mean thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in damage. I've seen it happen right here in town.
Wow.
You're talking ruined carpets, furniture, drywall replacement, potentially mold remediation, which is a whole separate nightmare.
Mold.
Yeah, plus the hassle with insurance. A working sump pump is honestly just critical peace of mind. It protects your biggest investment.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the number you don't forget. Okay, speaking of preventing moisture issues like mold, let's talk ventilation. Bath fans, dryer vents, even those vents in the attic. What's their main role?
Their job is simple but vital. Get the bad stuff out. That means moisture, stale air, cooking fumes, pollutants. Get it outside.
Okay.
This helps prevent mold and mildew, stops heat from building up where it shouldn't, and just generally keeps the air inside your home healthier. It can even prevent damage to, like, your roof structure.
I always hear you should run the bathroom fan when you shower. Why is that so important? Just clearing steam isn't the whole story.
Not at all. Showers dump a ton of moisture into the air. Running the fan during the shower helps, sure, but the key is leaving it on for a while after, too. Like, at least 20 minutes after you turn the water off.
20 minutes, okay.
Yeah, that pulls out all that lingering damp air. If you don't, you're basically trapping humidity in there, which is just asking for mold and mildew on the ceiling, walls, grout, you name it.
Gotcha. And the dryer vent. That's not just about drying clothes faster, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a huge fire safety issue if you ignore it. Did you know, like, lint buildup in dryer vents causes something like 15,000 house fires every year in the U.S.?
15,000. Whoa.
Yeah. Lint is super flammable. You absolutely need to clean out that entire vent duct, not just the little trap in the dryer, at least once a year. Maybe more if you do a lot of laundry.
Okay, adding that to the list.
And while we're venting attic vents, they let hot air and moisture escape from your attic, keeps it cooler up there in summer, which actually helps your roof last longer and can even lower your AC bills a bit.
Now, here's a cool tip I learned for checking if your bath fan is actually working well.
Are you going to mention the toilet paper test?
You know it. The toilet paper test.
It's genius, right? So simple.
Totally. Just turn the fan on, take a single square of toilet paper, and hold it up flat against the vent cover.
And if the fan's suction can hold that piece of paper up against the vent...
That is probably pulling a decent amount of air.
Exactly. But if the paper just falls right off...
Then your fan is likely clogged, weak, or just not doing much besides making noise. Time to investigate.
It's such a great quick diagnostic you can do yourself.
Perfect example of that practical knowledge we're talking about. Okay, next up, plumbing shutoffs and water lines. Water comes in, waste goes out. Seems simple, but what do we really need to know here?
Well, it's this hidden network of pipes carrying fresh water everywhere you need it and then carrying the used water away. But the most crucial thing is knowing how to stop the flow in an emergency.
Okay, so where are these key shutoffs usually located?
Number one, absolutely critical, know where your main water shutoff valve is.
The big one.
The big one. It's usually where the main water pipe enters your house, often in the basement, maybe a crawl space, sometimes a utility closet near the front of the house. You need to find it before you need it.
Good point.
Then you'll also have smaller individual shutoff valves right near your fixtures. Look under the toilet tank, under the sinks, usually little handles or knobs, and there's one at your water heater too.
Why is finding that main shutoff so incredibly vital? And how fast should you be able to turn it off if something bursts?
Because when a pipe bursts or you have a major leak, every single second counts. Water damage happens fast. Being able to run right to that main valve and shut it off quickly, that can literally be the difference between a small cleanup and thousands or even tens of thousands in repairs.
Ah, okay. Any other must-knows for plumbing?
Definitely. Here in the Midwest, you have to disconnect your garden hoses and drain your outdoor faucets before winter hits. Otherwise, water freezes inside, expands, and can burst the pipe, often inside your wall. Messy and expensive.
Oh yeah, seen that happen.
Also, just take a peek under your sinks once a month or so. Look for drips, dampness. Catching a small leak early is way better than finding a ruined cabinet later. And listen for running toilets. A toilet that constantly leaks or runs silently can waste hundreds of gallons a day. Drives up your water bill like crazy.
That's a great tip. Maybe put a bright tag or some colorful tape on that main shutoff valve once you find it. Makes it easier to spot in a panic.
Excellent idea. Anything to make it faster in an emergency.
All right, sticking with water, let's talk about the appliance that gives us hot water. The water heater.
Yep, the trusty water heater. Pretty straightforward job.
Yeah.
It stores water and heats it up for your showers, dishes, laundry, all that stuff.
Location usually basement, garage, utility closet again.
That's typically where you'll find them, yeah.
So how do we keep this workhorse happy and
Ugh.
maybe make it last longer?
Okay, number one for traditional tank heaters.
Yeah.
Drain some water from the bottom valve once a year. This gets rid of sediment buildup inside the tank.
Sediment, like sand or rust.
Yeah, minerals, scale, maybe tiny bits of rust. That gunk settles at the bottom, makes the heater less efficient, forces it to work harder, and can shorten its life. Draining it helps clear that out.
Okay, good to know.
Also, check the temperature setting. Around 120 degrees Fahrenheit is usually recommended. Hot enough to kill bacteria and feel good, but generally safe enough to prevent serious scalds, especially if you have kids.
120, got it.
And keep an eye on the area around the base of the heater. Any signs of moisture, drips, or rust stains. That's often the very first warning sign that the tank might be starting to fail. Catching it early can prevent a messy flood.
What about those tankless ones, the on-demand heaters?
Good question. They don't store water, so no sediment buildup in the same way, but they can get scale buildup inside from minerals in the water, especially here with our harder water sometimes. So for those, you usually need to flush them out once a year with a descaling solution, often just white vinegar, following the manufacturer's instruction.
Okay, and how long do these things typically last? Helps for budgeting.
Yeah, good question. For a standard tank water heater, you're probably looking at an average lifespan of, say, 8 to 12 years.
Okay.
Tankless heaters generally last quite a bit longer, maybe 15 to 20 years or even more, depending on maintenance and water quality. Knowing the age helps you plan ahead.
Definitely. Okay, last big category. This isn't really a system like the others, but it's maybe the most important for keeping your family safe. Safety equipment, smoke detectors, CO detectors, fire extinguishers.
Absolutely critical. These are your silent protectors, your first alert system, often kind of forgotten about until, heaven forbid, you actually need them. They are literal lifesavers.
So what are the non-negotiables? The must-dos to make sure they're ready?
Test them. Test your smoke and CO alarms every single month. Just push the button, takes 5 seconds.
Okay.
Change the batteries at least once a year, maybe twice is better. A good reminder is when you change your clocks for daylight saving time, spring forward, fall back, swap the batteries then.
Good mnemonic. Where should they be?
Smoke detectors. You need at least one on every level of your home. Basement, main floor, upstairs, and, very important, one inside each bedroom. Carbon monoxide detectors. CO is invisible, odorless killer gas. You need at least one near the main sleeping areas. Ideally, one on each level as well, especially if you have fuel-burning appliances like a furnace or gas fireplace.
Right. And fire extinguishers.
Yes. Have at least one multi-purpose ABC-rated fire extinguisher easily accessible in the kitchen. That's where most home fires start. Having another one in the garage or workshop is a really good idea, too. Know how to use it before you need it. Pull the pin, aim low, squeeze the lever, sweep side to side. Pass.
PASS. Good acronym. Wow. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah.
From HVAC all the way to safety gear. So what's the big takeaway for our listeners after all this?
I think the big takeaway is that understanding these things makes you more than just a homeowner. It makes you a confident caretaker of your home.
Yeah, caretaker. I like that.
It transforms how you see your house. It's not about having to do every single repair yourself. Not at all.
Right.
It's about being prepared, knowing what's normal, what's not, understanding why maintenance matters, and crucially, knowing when it's time to call in a pro before a little issue becomes a huge, expensive disaster.
Exactly. Because let's be real, things will go wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
That's just homeownership, right? Even here with our lovely Sioux Falls weather patterns.
Yeah. Something's always keeping us on our toes.
But knowing what to do or even just knowing what the problem is when something happens, that makes all the difference. It turns panic into, well, maybe just annoyance, but definitely more peace of mind.
Peace of mind is huge.
So here's a little challenge for you listening. After hearing all this today, what's the first system you're going to go check out when you get home? The filter, the sump pump float, maybe just finding that main water shutoff.
Yeah, take that first step. Pick one thing.
We really hope this deep dive was helpful. If you enjoyed this and want more tips, tricks, and just general home knowledge fun, feel free to check us out on social media. We're at Your Home Dad on various platforms.
Yep, your home dad. Come join the community.
Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us on this journey. It's all about learning together, having some fun, and just making our homes work better for us.